Hi everybody, welcome to Holy Souls Kitchen, and a little quick prayer for the holy souls in purgatory, which is to honor thy father and thy mother. I know that it's a commandment as well, the fourth one, but to really pray for your mom and your dad and how important that is. And if they're not in purgatory and you pray for them, then Our Lady will distribute those particular graces. So my Jesus mercy. Today we're going to build a lasagna. Now this is very simple. One of the parts about cooking is to be able to substitute. So my Italian bride is filming this right now, and one of the things that you can use instead of ricotta, you can use cottage cheese if you'd like. So you have to go with what's convenient for you. Now I'll try to give you a basic idea of the measurement as far as spices are concerned. So this covers a lot of different experience levels in cooking. So please don't feel as if I'm talking down to you if I have to measure the spices. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is, for this half pan lasagna right here, we're going to use 2 pounds or 15 ounces of ricotta.
It's 1 pound. 15 ounces is a little less than 1 pound, but you can use 2.
Yeah, we're going to use 2 pounds,
Okay.
but they come in 15. I was going to show you.
Right.
No, just leave it right up there. Just keep going. I'm not going to end it. So this is for the camera crooked.
Because I was tipping my head.
So
Okay.
15. So they generally come 15 ounces. I don't know why they do that, but at any rate, so this can be transferred to a big-sized hotel pan if you just double the recipe. So we'll go ahead and start this. So again, this is ricotta. This is the filling for it. And we'll just go like that. Okay, so again, that's 30 ounces or close to 2 pounds. And again, you can substitute it with ricotta cheese. Here's some Parmesan. I would say probably several ounces of Parmesan. A lot of times you can use what's in the store as Kraft. Don't recommend that. So if you can get some Parm and grate it yourself, that would be much more flavorful. We really don't know what's in that Kraft Parmesan, but then again, keep it simple. You can buy all these ingredients at the dollar store. Your local grocery store will probably have ricotta in it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here as far as measurements are concerned. Going back to the Parmesan, it's probably about a cup. So we're going to go with 2 cups of mozzarella. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. You're just trying to get an idea of how much to add. The mozzarella is interesting because you can freeze it. So when you buy in bulk, you can save yourself some money. Your ricotta is going to probably be about roughly $4 a pound, somewhere's in there.
And you did wash your hands before you did that, right?
Absolutely.
Just wanted to verify that so everybody knew.
So to give it some color, you're just going to add some Italian spices. And again, you can see I'm just sprinkling it to add some color to it. I'm not going to measure the amount. One of the things is that if you're a little bit older, you may have seen Grandma Nona cooking. And I doubt that she had a recipe in front of her. So we're going to put a little bit of salt in here. We call it a pinch. A little bit of pepper. Now we're going to add a couple of eggs. Why eggs, you ask? Because what the egg does is it binds the mixture so that when you put it in there, in the lasagna itself, it doesn't fall apart and get all watery. So this will help with the texture of the lasagna. And let me get my spoon over here. All right, and then what you'll do is you'll just mix it up. So again, we have 2 pounds for this recipe. 2 pounds of ricotta, as the Italians say. Nancy always yells at me to make sure that I pronounce it. Being a full-blooded Frenchman, you know, I have to take the grief from the Italians. Now, it's interesting. The Italians actually started fine cooking, but just like Aristotle, St. Thomas Aquinas perfected Aristotle. So the French, what they did is they perfected cooking. And if you take a look at all the great chefs, they generally are French for the most part. The exception is, of course, Julia Child.
How come we don't see a lot of French restaurants around? We see a lot of Italian, though.
You don't really see a lot of Italian. Now, Olive Garden is not coming.
Pizza.
So you take a look at St. Patrick, too. St. Patrick is an interesting saint because he's not really from Ireland, but he did all of his studying in France. So, all right, so there's your mixture, and that's about what you want. It's not runny, of course, and everything will cook up. So the next thing on the agenda will be how to build a lasagna. All right, we're going to build a lasagna. Now, this is the easiest way, I think, of making the lasagna. We're going to use a no-boil. That's not necessarily the technical name, but we're going to add. You can cook the pasta before, and if you buy 1 pound box, that's plenty for this particular recipe, and probably is plenty if you double it. What we call a hotel pan, deep dish. It's a 13 by 9 for the most part. So what you do is that you water down your sauce so that it'll absorb into the pasta. So what I've done here is I've added, now this is the ratio that you use. You use 1.5 cups of sauce, and it can be any sauce, to a half a cup of water. All right, so again, I'm going to repeat that. So you use 1.5 cups of sauce, and you're going to use a half a cup of water, and that should be so it totals 2 cups. So what we'll do here is I hope I was clear as far as not having to boil the lasagna. Now, some of the purists may want to go ahead and boil that, and that's
Don't boil the noodles.
So
This is a no cook method.
yeah, this is a
No
a
boil ahead of
boil.
time.
So we'll just spread it on the bottom.
How much? Okay, we can figure that out because
Probably about a cup.
there we go.
And it might not be enough, but we can always improvise at the end if you need to. It's not a problem. So again, the reason that you want it watered down is so the pasta, the lasagna noodles in this case, will absorb the water, and then it won't dry out. Now, they don't have to be exactly together, as you can see, because the noodle will actually expand. So you pour a little bit more on there on the bottom level. Again, we just added 1 cup of the sauce and water mixture. Now, as far as the dolloping is concerned, this is going to be a 2-layered lasagna. So I'll move along quickly here of our filling that we already made. It's not an exact science. And we'll go like this. And it's sunny up here in Minnesota today. We had some snow last night. All right.
Okay, so that's half the amount.
there's-
That's about half, right? But you're
Yeah,
doing
I would
two
say.
layers.
Yeah, it's going to be 2-layered
So
lasagna.
you put about half now of the filling, then half later.
Yeah, I would say that's about right. So then our meat. Now this is a homegrown Italian sausage that we made, but you can use ground beef, pork. It's about 2 pounds. So it made it up raw, and I put it up in a Ziploc bag, and we froze it, and then I cooked it up. So it's about 2 pounds. So we'll go ahead and spread it over. Now, if it's during Lent and you don't want to have any meat and you want to make this, you don't have to add the meat if you don't want to. But as
So you put about half the meat again.
yeah, probably right around half. It might even end up being a little bit less. It only takes a few minutes, as you can see, to make this up. And don't be afraid. It's pretty tough to goof up. So then we'll add a little bit more sauce on the top. And again, if you run out of sauce, now this is the sauce that we made the other day that I'm using to make the lasagna. So we're going to go in a different direction this time. And you can just go like this. You can break it. There's nothing technical about this at all. So just be confident. Be confident in what you're doing. You won't goof it up. So we'll add a little bit more sauce.
Just say if it looks bad, just eat with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
It'll still taste good.
The thing is that with this particular recipe, as easy as it is, you're gonna be a hero. People are just gonna absolutely love you. So, and it's really hard, especially up here, to find good Italian cooking, and not to harp too much on Olive Garden, but it's essentially what we call the McDonald's of Italian food. So, but their food's good. What is it? Their bread?
Breadsticks.
Their breadsticks are really good.
They're so good for you.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're getting down there. You're gonna end up with probably about 9 dollops, if you will. If you have any extra, don't worry about it. You can just put it in the fridge and you can make up another Italian dish, which we may get to. So, okay, so you can see, so the bowl's empty here. So we've used it all up. So we'll add a little bit more meat to it.
Oven's ready.
The oven's ready. The oven's going to be at 350, and you cook it for around an hour. Would you say about an hour, woman? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to. You just look at it as if.
Do you cover it? Do you cover the pan?
You cover the.
Do you cover the pan when
Oh,
you cook it?
when you cook it initially? Yeah, you can put some foil over that. Yeah, you want to put foil over it. And then you want to have some extra mozzarella after you cook it. You put the mozzarella on the top. And we'll show you how to do that in the next portion of the video. All right, so that's roughly again in review. Now we're gonna have to add a little more sauce. So you just take a scoop. If you were using Prego or ragu, you would probably want to buy a couple of jars, I would imagine.
So how much
Something
water
like
did you add to that?
So now we have about another cup of sauce
And water together.
and water. So we'll put a little there. The big thing is with the no cooked lasagna or noodles is you don't want your pasta to dry out, and then it'll be like it'll be like cement actually. Got any comments there, woman?
No.
Now, Nona is she's the real cook. I just consider myself a hacker. So again, you don't have to do it quite this way, but as far as breaking up the pasta, but you'll see it'll come out. So just in review, this is how you build the lasagna, and then you want to make sure your noodles on top are covered. Just want to make sure you have enough moisture. So again,
So how much for this size pan? How many jars of sauce? Say, how many ounces of sauce would you say?
well, what did we put in?
Like 3 cups already? No, but
Yeah,
that was
so
counting water.
probably if you buy a jar, 32
size.
ounces,
Okay.
quart.
Quart jar.
But then you're gonna want to
you're
gonna need extra sauce so that when you serve it, you have some extra sauce to go on
Just
top.
buy a couple, and if you need it, you have the backup jar. So
But in the last video, I showed you how to make the sauce, which is essentially makes a gallon. So you can go ahead and review that. So the big thing about cooking is just be confident. There's and if you know how to cook, look, this recipe, we ended up for one of our daughter's receptions, I made up 3 hotel pans, double sized, and people absolutely loved it. So it's really, and then they go in the freezer. You can freeze it too if you'd like, and then have it later on so you can pre-prepare it.
do you put we put Parmesan on top or not?
No, when it's cooking, you want to you don't want to put any cheese on it, and then when it's done, and we'll go over that in the next video. When it's done, and essentially this is how it's done. You're gonna put your baby finger in there, and you're gonna feel that it's hot. Because the thing is that with this, everything's already cooked. So you're really just warming it up.
Except the noodles.
That's all you're doing.
Except the noodles.
Well, yeah.
I just want to point that out. That's all.
You're still beautiful, woman. Don't worry about that. And then we'll put a piece of foil over the top. So just in review, we had about 2 pounds of ricotta, a couple cups of Parmesan, and then a couple cups of mozzarella. We made our filling, added a couple of eggs.
2 pounds of ricotta.
Did I say 2 pounds?
You said you didn't say ricotta yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't
2
think
pounds
you
of
did.
ricotta. And again, if you want to cook for a crowd, now if you double the size of this hotel pan when you go wherever you go, it'll feed about 20 to 25 people of average adults, okay? This will feed probably a dozen people, and again, everyone's gonna love you.
Just serve it with some garlic bread and
Yeah, so
salad.
we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven now. It's at 350. And it'll take probably about an hour. You can check it. And that's it. See you in the next video. So we have a finished lasagna here, and we're going to go ahead and serve it up. It ended up cooking for 1 hour and 45 minutes. It just depends on your oven. So I added the mozzarella towards the end, and then as you can see, I let it melt. All right. Now it's important. You're going to look at it and you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, it's all watery." But you're going to allow it to come into its own, and in about 15 minutes or so, it'll just decide that it'll create its own identity. All right. So we're going to go ahead and slice it up right here. Probably a serrated knife, I'm guessing, will be the best thing. Now this is going to make 12 pieces according to the new math. Now you have to realize what kind of crowd you're feeding and what size pieces. You're obviously going to make smaller pieces for the little ones. And so be aware of that. Turn the music down here a little bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the big thing is don't worry about it when you look at it, when you first take it out after 1 hour and 45 minutes or so, that you're going to have an issue with it being too runny. So we'll go ahead and
Plate it.
we're going to call it, yes, we're going to plate it. So there's what it looks like there. You may want to put a baking pan underneath it. It gives a little bit more support, because the foil pan may go cattywampus, as we say. Now, when you serve it, you want to go ahead and put a little extra sauce on there. And if you have some parm, you can sprinkle some on. And then that's for the effect. So essentially, this is how you would serve it. And what I'd like to do is thank everybody for watching. And a reminder to everyone, this is Holy Souls Kitchen. And I ask simply that you pray for the Holy Souls. Today, especially, we honor our mother and our father. And a little quip about Saint Claude de la Colombière, whose feast day it is today. And for him, there was great suffering for him eating the English food. So there's a whole story behind that. But at any rate, thanks again. And thank you, woman, for filming.
You're welcome.
Bye now.